I've never seen our audience so well-dressed.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're discussing the history of the late-night talk shows that shaped and will continue to shape TV.
They made one mistake. They left me alive.
The dawn of late night. As Americans welcomed television into their homes after World War II, there was a demand for friendly entertainment. CBS first experimented with adapting radio discussion shows for the new format with the housewife-targeted Vanity Fair in 1948. They then brought Art Linkletter to the screen in 1952 and ran House Party on daytime for 27 years.
Sure, nice to hear that applause, isn't it, Lucy? Because that tells them that they love you.
But every Sunday, many spent the night catching up on pop culture and music with Toast of the Town. After the title was changed to The Ed Sullivan Show in 1955, it became one of the most sought-after platforms in entertainment.
So here is Dr. Jive. I want you to meet this young disc jockey from WWRL.
NBC competed with Texaco Star Theater, which earned host Milton Berle the moniker Mr. Television. Networks quickly wised up to the market for visual vaudeville with a charismatic presenter. If such shows could successfully close out primetime Sunday night, why not every weeknight? Thus, the late-night time slot was created to house comedy variety shows. The sun may have set on the vaudeville craze, but that's right when this new genre was warming up.
Now that our show is through, may I say God bless you and you and you and you. And so, farewell. It's been swell being here.
Early late night. Late-night talk shows started like many great entertainment institutions, with overlooked women. Starting in 1949, CBS and NBC filled 15 minutes of the new time slot with the Faye Emerson Show.
How are you, boys?
Oh, fine. Thanks for the boys.
The witty showcase of entertainers and musicians lasted just one season, but established the hosting skills that would earn Faye Emerson the nickname the First Lady of Television.
And here's something that anybody can appreciate, artist or not.
One can just as easily call her the first host of late night. Maury Amsterdam, Jerry Lester, and Dagmar got more attention for NBC's Broadway Open House, though the one-hour chaotic cavalcade also ran for 1 year.
You haven't got a full-length coat like that, have you?
Still, it was successful enough for network president Sylvester Pat Weaver to continue these costly experiments in variety programming. Dagmar headed the short-lived spin-off Dagmar's Canteen, and 2 years later, Weaver found his legacy with Tonight.
Are you finished?
It's not definite.
Monopolizing the genre. Musician, comedian, and writer Steve Allen was practically a one-man variety show. He was certainly the right man to turn NBC's Tonight into an institution, even with a nightly runtime of 105 minutes.
Boy, we've been making last-minute changes around here.
Over the course of 3 years, Allen bantered with the likes of Joan Crawford, Judy Garland, Duke Ellington, and Roy Rogers.
You folks who have just joined us, some of the stations, having been away for 1 minute, have just come back with us. You didn't miss anything particularly. We had Clark Gable here.
Celebrities and political figures were eager to engage him in natural dialogue that humanized them with their fan base. Of course, guest hosts like Ernie Kovacs showed that the brand was hot enough to survive with a new face. From 57 to 62, Jack Paar presented from the same studio as Milton Berle's Texaco Star Theater. His personality was such an asset that when he decided to step down from Tonight, NBC gave him the Jack Paar program. This late night show aimed to globalize the host's brand, presenting imported film clips like one of a band of 4 youngsters from the humble English town of Liverpool.
When you've lost your love, well, I saw her yesterday.
NBC perhaps put more stock in Tonight's hosts than the show itself, while rival networks offered no rival programming. That all changed with Johnny Carson.
And now, here's Johnny.
The kings of late night. Despite CBS canceling the Johnny Carson show over low ratings, NBC took a big risk bringing him onto the newly rebranded The Tonight Show.
Stay where you are, and we'll be with you in just 1 minute.
The risk more than paid off. The show was retooled to precede celebrity interviews with Johnny Carson delivering a stand-up comedy monologue on current events, often followed by a skit. Beside him was his trusty announcer Ed McMahon to enhance the routine with banter and his distinctive laugh.
Got anything?
The show was a hit, soon landing recurring guests like Sarah Vaughan, Ava Gabor, and Woody Allen. It also launched the stand-up careers of George Carlin and Joan Rivers.
And she spoke at 7 months, which is incredible. Her first words were, "Would you shut up already?"
Starting in 1964, other networks finally joined the trend. ABC had Nightlife with Les Crane, then The Joey Bishop Show. CBS revived NBC's short-lived daytime show with Merv Griffin for a new time slot to usher in the 1970s. ABC followed suit by reformatting The Dick Cavett Show for the end of the day.
Do you generally believe in astrology? Hands. You do.
He really looks like a lion, doesn't he?
Cavett and Griffin would lead late night in New York City quite successfully. Meanwhile, the undisputed king of late night moved the genre westward, refining the format. After 10 years in the RCA building at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson was one of the biggest programs on TV. It was thus relocated to NBC Studios in Burbank, California to be closer to the Hollywood superstars.
It is good to see you again.
It's good to see you.
What's up? Somebody leave a pen on the seat?
The move was also credited with triggering a mass migration of aspiring stand-up comics to Los Angeles. Everyone wanted to sit across from Carson, from the world's biggest stars to the animals of celebrity zoologist Jim Fowler.
One of their defensive tactics is suddenly start spinning, and
it's also one of mine, incidentally.
Back in New York, CBS dropped The Merv Griffin Show to first-run syndication, and later briefly acquired Dick Cavett before he took his bow in 1975. NBC was so dominant in this genre that news anchor Tom Snyder could host the more seriously topical The Tomorrow Show following Carson from 73 to 81.
You know something, I walked in here tonight and I told a story that I thought was humorous.
The franchise was not only a singular force on late night, but was cultivating TV's stronghold in Hollywood. This would, of course, open the doors for the genre in subsequent decades, with few shows sticking the landing.
We'll be right back.
The fall of the king. By the 1980s, there was still no competing with NBC's late-night block. Tonight continued establishing big names like Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, and Jerry Seinfeld.
But that's a tough decision, you know, when you try on shoes, because you got to walk around that store kind of like a zombie. You know, you try on shoes and you just kind of walk around, yeah, these are good. Yeah, I like these.
Jay Leno was such a hit that he substituted Carson in more than 300 episodes. After Snyder left Tomorrow, Late Night with David Letterman kept audiences laughing on NBC. And there they stayed after the launch of Later with Bob Costas in 1988.
Given who you are, obviously you could have attracted just about anybody, but you made a conscious decision not to go with big names.
Elsewhere, The Merv Griffin Show ended in '86, while the syndicated Thick of the Night and CBS's The Pat Sajak Show failed historically. But it was at this time that NBC began strategizing around the prospect of Carson retiring after his 25th season. They considered many potential successors for Tonight, but precariously excluded popular guest host Joan Rivers. She thus took the new network Fox up on their offer to become the first female late-night host since 1952.
And I am just so happy to be here, and I thank you all so much.
Although The Late Show with Joan Rivers didn't last long, fill-in host Arsenio Hall, the first black presenter of the genre, had an iconic run on syndication from '89 to '94. By then, Carson had decided to leave The Tonight Show after 3 decades at the top. On May 22, 1992, some 50 million homes watched the King of Late Night's final show. The question now was of who could possibly claim his throne.
I bid you a very heartfelt good night.
Letterman, Leno, and Conan. It was widely assumed that late-night host David Letterman would move into the earlier time slot as tonight's 4th main host. Instead, the honor went to frequent guest host Jay Leno.
Let's see how you all feel in 30 years.
Even Letterman was frustrated by this, accusing Leno of making a backroom deal with NBC. It wouldn't be until the 2021 docuseries The Story of Late Night that this was confirmed. Having had a bitter relationship with NBC executives anyway, Letterman switched sides. CBS launched The Late Show with David Letterman in 1993, finally giving the Tonight franchise a formidable foe.
If you think about it, all I really did was take the summer off.
He was replaced on Late Night by acclaimed comedy writer Conan O'Brien, who bounced off the screen with energy and surrealist humor that quickly endeared audiences.
Here's an advertisement from Newton, Massachusetts. It's for a miniature golf course. I want you to take a look at this. We found it here, our staff. The ad reads, Bob's Mini Golf Course. We are a really bad miniature golf course. You shouldn't come here.
It took them longer to acclimate to Leno, but the personable charisma was accepted as a worthy successor to Carson.
What the hell were you thinking?
But was he the new king of late night? It's generally agreed that there were now 3 competing for audience favoritism, with their network's full support. Letterman personally co-created his follow-up program, The Late Late Show, which brought Tom Snyder back to CBS in 1995.
Hey, my name is Tom. This is the simulcast out of TV City in Hollywood, California.
The reliable veteran was still no match for the vibrant O'Brien, or Conan as he was popularly known. He, Leno, and Letterman would own the night for 30 years, but not without further competition.
Every morning you greet me.
A new industry. Pop culture's heightened edge and alternative content in the 90s invited a boom in talk shows. Network shows like Dennis Miller, Chevy Chase, and even Magic Johnson were more like bombs. At least Miller found the right platform for his lewd intellectualism on HBO, although Dennis Miller Live was a weekly affair.
Why do you think people are so easily influenced? Besides being stupid,
yeah,
I mean, stupid is your core underlay, but what are some of the other
superstitious.
things? Yeah.
Basic cable had more means than premium to sustain the nightly format. MTV's The Jon Stewart Show was the first cable program of its kind in 1993, followed by Comedy Central's politically charged The Daily Show 3 years later. Jon Stewart himself began anchoring the nightly news parody in '99, becoming a leader in political satire.
When we see that wounded traveler on the road to Jericho, we will not pass to the other side.
For the other side may have 2 wounded travelers, for all we know. Can't take care of them and cut taxes. I mean, come on.
The first host, sports commentator Craig Kilborn, held his own on CBS as the host of The Late Late Show until 2004. So too did his outrageous successor, Craig Ferguson.
What else do you want to talk about?
Ever been fishing?
The networks knew they had to adapt to the internet age's competition for viral recognition and youth appeal. The writing became punchier and more gag-driven. In 2002, NBC replaced the Later franchise with Last Call with the radio DJ Carson Daly. Late Night Now had something for everyone, though not so much for ABC. Their nightly adaptation of Comedy Central's Politically Incorrect was canceled after host Bill Maher criticized U.S. foreign policy in the wake of 9/11. Jimmy Kimmel of Comedy Central's The Man Show would be his raunchy replacement, eventually establishing himself as the 4th superstar of network late night. He turned out to just be the first in a new crop.
And at 11%, yours truly. Thank you. Even Chevy Chase got 12%.
No, he did not. He did not.
The war for late night and its aftermath. In 2009, Conan O'Brien ascended to the desk of The Tonight Show, while Jay Leno received a primetime talk show to save NBC's scripted drama budget. The deal, years in the making, seemed perfect for all parties. But with the Jay Leno show's poor ratings and reviews, NBC decided to put it on late night with a reduced runtime and push Tonight to midnight for the first time ever. In protest of this artistic and professional insult, O'Brien left the network and returned his show to Leno. His follow-up, Conan, would become a staple of the cable network TBS.
Thank you, and welcome to my 2nd annual first show.
But The Tonight Show with Jay Leno remained on borrowed time, whereas the new host of Late Night was the talk of the town. Beloved for his wholesome energy and modest charm, Saturday Night Live vet Jimmy Fallon was handed the reins of Tonight in 2014.
Welcome. I'm Jimmy Fallon, and I'll be your host for now.
2 months later, David Letterman announced his retirement after hosting The Late Show for 22 years. The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson ended that December.
But really, this show belongs to you. You know, it belongs to you, and I hope you keep it, because I'm done with it.
It was a turbulent 5 years for late night, exposing network cynicism and the fragmentation of audiences due to DVR and the internet. The following years would be even more turbulent.
Thank you, and good night.
The political era. Late-night talk shows have long been growing more politically engaged. Aggressive satire of current affairs was big on the cable format, and was a signature for Jimmy Kimmel Live by the 2010s.
I even thought, hey, maybe we won't talk about Donald Trump much tonight. And then he opened his mouth and all manner of stupid came out.
So when NBC gave Late Night to Seth Meyers, best known for anchoring the Weekend Update segment on SNL, he had unprecedented freedom with his progressive political commentary.
That is a mortal sin in Chicago. That's like eating your pizza with a fork in New York City. Oh yeah, he did that too.
CBS echoed this by giving The Late Show to Stephen Colbert, who spoofed conservative media as a correspondent for The Daily Show and host of the spin-off The Colbert Report. Mostly political monologues would be half of their show. That would be the heart of Comedy Central's left-leaning The Jim Jeffries Show and Fox News' right-leaning The Greg Gutfeld Show.
Things are going weird right now. I don't know where to go with this.
For a time at least, there was still escapism in the fun-loving and politically neutral The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Actor-singer James Corden adapted the friendly group skit and discussion format of British chat shows during his stint on The Late Late Show.
What did you think it was going to feel like in your head?
I thought it'd feel like flying. I thought I was going to feel like, this is the most amazing feeling ever.
Right.
And instead it was like, I should get up now.
Well, neutrality fell out of fashion after celebrity businessman Donald Trump's election to President of the United States in 2016. His heated antics and feuds with public figures were great fodder for political satire.
He should change the hats to say, "Make America Wine Again, Mawa," because...
Oftentimes, talk show hosts were very serious about their opinions. Shows that used to bring Americans together were now dividing them among supporters, critics, and those who just didn't want to end the day with more politics. Ratings plummeted further under controversy and the streaming age's devastating impact on American television's network system.
When you insult one member of the CBS family, you insult us all. Bazinga, all right?
Looking dark. Late Night was struggling with programming and cultural relevance going into the 2020s. After 17 years of cult fandom, NBC replaced Last Call with Carson Daly with A Little Late with Lily Singh. She lasted less than 2 years.
Hey, Middle America, I'm so glad you're here.
The newcomers sure didn't stand a chance with the state of the whole entertainment industry. From 2020 to 23, the COVID-19 pandemic forced talk shows to drastically reformat to accommodate health and social distancing guidelines.
It will not surprise you to know that I was aware you were at the inauguration.
I heard about that.
All the while, the American public grew more cynical about whom they trust as nightly guests in their home. This escalated as the Late Late Show franchise ended amid allegations of toxic behavior behind James Corden's wholesome image. The replacement, After Midnight, quietly ended after 2 seasons, when Taylor Tomlinson decided that hosting her own talk show wasn't the right career move.
Well, I did ask you to keep that between us, Paul, but that's okay.
And if fans sought the wisdom of talk show legends like David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, and Jon Stewart, they could be found on podcasts and streaming.
Somebody's got to generate fodder that's better quality. And it feels like, so I guess what I'm asking you is, will you run that?
In fact, weekly talk shows like HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver were gaining more attention in pop culture.
All it takes is a few superficial labels and style choices to convince people that something with no real substance is actually meaningful and good. Or as it's known in America, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Lockdown may have ended by 2023, but this industry was still in crisis. In 2024, all network late-night shows shifted from a 5-night weekly schedule to a 4-week. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Good night. Mainstream discourse over late night's declining ratings, backlash, and unprofitable budgets peaked after Donald Trump's return to the White House in 2025. It all began with his civil suit against CBS's parent company Paramount Global over defamatory coverage on 60 Minutes. Stephen Colbert referred to the $16 million settlement as a, quote, big fat bribe during a monologue.
This all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance. Not the music I was expecting? Okay.
And on July 17, 2025, he announced that he would be leaving The Late Show with no replacement.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And yeah, I share your feelings.
This sparked widespread accusations that Trump directly violated freedom of speech. Did the head of the U.S. government demand the show's cancellation as part of the Paramount settlement? Did he threaten to axe their $8 billion merger with Skydance Media? Many also suspect Occam's razor. The #1 show on late night was still losing CBS $40 million annually, publicly criticizing its employer and putting them at legal risk with powerful private citizens. Keeping Colbert just doesn't make good business sense.
They pulled the plug on our show because of losses pegged between $40 million and $50 million a year. $40 million's a big number. I could see us losing $24 million, but where would Paramount have possibly spent the other $16 million? Oh, yeah.
But ending the franchise after 33 years announces the end of an era at best. Could CBS be signaling the end of a format they and Faye Emerson began in 1949? It's far less likely that this means the end of valuable commentary, comedy, and fun. Market oversaturation and declining demand have threatened talk shows ever since Johnny Carson mastered the art. They have always been and always will be a leader in television's evolution, no matter when audiences tune in.
So we should lay a couple of things to rest before we start doing whatever we're going to do tonight. Yeah.
If you're in the area and would like to talk late night, come by in the comments below.
This all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance.